Our game takes place about 60 years after the fall of Constantinople, so when the Byzantine Empire ended and the Ottoman Empire didn't begin but sort of overtook the old Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire had lasted for 1,000 years, but its last 200 years was dwindling, and the population of the city had fallen to about 40,000 people. So I remember reading lots of historical articles about how it was just a decrepit place, and when the Ottomans came in, they set about revamping the place and building it up. So the population went from 40,000 to about 400,000 in just 100 years. So we're assuming around a population of about 300,000 people. The fall of Constantinople was a big deal. It was, again, that's 60 years before our story starts. The repercussions of that is what our game is dealing with. We have these Byzantine holdouts kind of in our game, where the last gasp of the old empire is sort of trying to hold on. When a city changes hands, it's never clear cut, you know. It would never be like we come in and you get out. So we want to recreate that feeling of instability, where new people have come in but the old people are still there, and the Ottomans are doing a great job being shepherds of the city, but there are still people who are definitely miffed about the transition. So the fall of Constantinople it figures largely into our game, in that and East and West colliding, and that's kind of represented in, you know, with Ezio and Altair being from East and West. Constantinople is a juncture where all that kind of comes to bear. And the Sultan at the time, or Sultan, is a guy named Bayezid II. Bayezid is at the last legs of his rule, and he's got a number of sons who want to sort of step into his shoes. In actual history, we have a couple brothers. We have Ahmed, and then his younger brother Selim. Those are the two brothers who'd be plausibly in line for the Sultanate. And historically, Bayezid liked Ahmed better, so which to the consternation of Selim. And then we also have a young Suleiman, who's Selim's son, and he will go on to become one of the greatest Ottoman sultans. I think his reign lasts something like 50 years. But in our game, he's a 17-year-old kid, sort of a young man. He's already the governor of a small province in the north. He got an early start. When you try to research this period gets kind of passed over a little bit in a lot of history books, because everyone wants to get to Suleiman the Magnificent. There's a lot written about him, but there wasn't very much written about him up until he was about 17. So nothing of his early life is well known. So we had to kind of invent from the little details we know. We got to create him sort of from scratch. But 1511, 1512 is a pretty pivotal point in this. Like, as I said, it's Bayezid's last year. I won't go into too much of how that transition happens, but that's just a really pivotal moment for the royal family. We'll see what happens.